here we are again with our Explore Oregon Abandoned Cabins thing. And we're here south of Bandon, Oregon, where this property's for sale. As you see, no trespassing, but that sign is on the house. That's because they don't want people to go in the house. If you wanted to look around the house for sale, though, obviously they wouldn't have a sign on it if they didn't want people to know it's for sale. Here you see where people have broken the main big window out. Of course, the vandals have to do that kind of thing, don't they? And that's what pisses me off so bad, is that the vandals always have to make a mess. Here inside, apparently someone has used this to dump their garbage. So that's just typically what you could expect, that there's always going to be someone who misuses things. That's the sad part, isn't it? And this house, you have to wonder always how it is that places get so abandoned and so uncared for. But it's obvious that this is a very beautiful property. It's 3 acres for sale. Obviously, at one time, it was a paradise. And for a nature lover like me, it's still a paradise. Going this way is the main highway 101. And the house is protected from the noise of that highway by this wooded area here. And, of course, you always have to wonder if at some point they're going to widen the highway and take away people's wooded area that's guarding them from the noise. Here you see some very beautiful plants right here. I really don't know what this is, but it's very beautiful. Down here you see an old abandoned ladder. That's very romantic. For me, this stuff is always very romantic. And I'm always hoping, of course, to find some really unusual thing laying around. But what we discovered here was that this place has the most fabulous apple trees in the world. Gravestine apples, they're a little bit hard to get to. I don't know that I'm going to do that today. I wish I knew what this plant was. It's very beautiful, a very furry type guy. There is another house very, very close to here. You can see it over there. Just even, in fact, I think they could hear me talking here. Yeah, this is a very beautiful kind of plant here. And it's a tree, really. It gets very big. Wait a minute, is that the same kind of thing? Yeah, that's the same kind of thing. And down here, also, you see an old chair kind of buried in that. So if you were any kind of archaeologist or something, you could probably go and discover all kinds of interesting historical stuff here, because this place has obviously been here for a while. This is the road in, and that in itself is very romantic. This place fits all of the criteria I have for being romantic, and I remember going by here, and actually the road was blocked by the growth for a long time, and obviously, from looking at this right here, someone has come through and, cleared the road so that people can look at things. And again, right under here, under this tree, is almost like a house. A lot of times these fir trees, oh, that is a fir tree, that kind of plant, and that was a baby one, have almost like a house under them. Oh, in the sense that I have found them where they never get wet, because the tree is made in such a way that the water does not ever hit the ground under it. And I found places like that the Indians had used as natural houses, because the tree itself didn't let the water get through and get people wet. Now, there's all kinds of stuff thrown around here. It really makes you wonder, what all might be thrown around here. Beautiful. These are the yellow flowers here are St. John's wort. which at one time was touted as a cure-all for depression. And we have Queen Anne's lace. Over there, the white flowers were yarrow. A person into studying nature, this is an ideal spot, for studying the trees and shrubs of Oregon. I think this here is yarrow, although it looks a little different than a yarrow usually looks. And then back here is where the apple trees are, and of course, as you can tell, the way back there is pretty difficult. Over here you see an old swing set. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's an old swing set over here. You see the frame of it. So at one time this place was all cleared out. All this brush and flowers were not here. And obviously it was a paradise with apple trees. I don't know if I can get back here to show you the apple trees or not. And anyway, they're back there. Maybe you can see something back there. I don't know. This camera is not the best camera is what I have found out. I thought it was at first. And then I found out it doesn't really even zoom or anything. So it's not. My daughter paid a lot of money for this camera, and oh, there's a few apples here. I think you can see. This tree here, small, has a few apples, but back in there are apple trees that have tons. One of them is 3 stories tall, and I was told by this lady there's cherry trees too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here because there's my car sitting there, my old red van. What a romantic spot. I want to go back there and pick apples, but I'm afraid I'll get in trouble. Because, well, this is an abandoned spot, and no one's ever going to pick those apples. You can be sure of that. No one picks any of the apples around Oregon. And if you go back here, you'll see that way back in here, there's another ramshackle building that's fallen down. And these flowers here, these have little kind of like, almost like little teeny apples on them. I don't know what they are. But there's the old abandoned house. So you see, this is very romantic spot for me. And I love pulling back in places like this and being all alone, I have this fantasy world anyway that I'm in, so it's always nice to find a place where I can have fantasy garden and all that. And all over California, I have found what I call secret gardens, hidden places. And it's very, very interesting. Okay.